I'm from Houston, Texas. I was born a Texan. Yeah. I like the Cowboys over the
Stop
Houston Oilers.
saying you like the Cowboys! Okay. What's the name of the goddamn team?
Commanders.
50% more meat, extra portions that taste extra good.
Why they pay me on the freaking trip?
I'm Donnell Rawlings, and to my left, if you'd watch this, might be to your right, is the legendary, the icon, the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl, Doug Williams. And to my right, if you know this face right here, he's just embarked into a new career. He's venturing to be a stand-up comic. You know him as the Secretary of Defense and also Dexter Manley. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
All right, so behind camera, because a lot of times the best things happen behind camera. You got the same energy as Charles Mann because you're over 6'4". You look down on me as a little guy, as a peon, and you're very disrespectful to me off camera. And you said that, Donnell, you're doing this interview, but I have a question for you. So curious, what is that question?
My question, you're native, right?
Yes.
Most of you black guys from here.
African American, but go ahead.
Well, you said black. You said the first black quarterback.
Okay, African. That's what I meant. I did say that.
I don't like that term, black, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, because black is the color of this seat cover.
Okay.
Okay, but now.
It also is your tone too, but go ahead. I mean, just we're talking, but go ahead.
Yeah, you're DC native.
Yeah.
Most of you guys like the Dallas Cowboys. Now, which team
No, first
are you?
off, first off, can you just back up a little bit? All right, I'm not running no passes. I'm not going down anything. I never liked the Dallas Cowboys. And as I grew up, I thought it was disrespectful to like the Cowboys if you didn't grow up in Texas. And I will say this, the people that liked the Cowboys from DC, they didn't really like the Cowboys, they liked Tony Dorsett back in the day. Tony Dorsett, his cliques out, whatever, everybody like that. But I've never been a Cowboy fan, and I can't stand a Cowboy fan. I have a young son, and I trained him to hate the Cowboys so much. We were in a grocery store, and he said, "Dad, we can't go down that aisle." I said, why? He said, "Because I saw a Cowboy fan. Let's get out of here." I'm diehard.
Well, you take one guy, Tony Dorsett, make everybody like the Cowboys? One guy?
When I was growing up.
You're talking about you, what you know.
Yeah, what I know. Wait a minute, are y'all jumping me?
Hey, we
It seems like it's a tag team right now, man. No, but I'm telling you, that's been for people that gravitate toward being fans of Cowboys. They would do that just because they were such big fans of Tony Dorsett, and it only took one player for them to say that's the team I want to. That was back.
Okay, I just think it's disrespectful to let your kid grow up a Cowboy.
Who are you talking to? I said the same thing, and my son's.
You should have put him out.
My son. He's not old enough. I got a young son. I can't put him on. When he's getting 18,
have him sleep outdoors a couple of days.
Yeah, you know what? I really respect that. But the beauty of that is his father, his granddad. Damn, I almost screwed up. I said his real dad. No, his granddad is a Cowboy fan, and
that's where it started from. I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, moving on. This show is not. It's not like remember that play, whatever. Because some players we've already interviewed talked a lot of trash about you. They said that you were nuts in the locker room.
Wow.
They said that you were the worst dancer in the locker room. And this is something that connects to me and what people know me as. They said you never use lotion in the locker room and you was the ashiest person on the team. How do you respond?
No, let me answer for you now. Okay. I'm going to tell you, when I came here, I'm going to say this. He did use some kind of grease or something.
10W40 or something?
Whatever it was, because he was greased up.
Right.
He's for the game. I didn't see no ash at all.
Right.
So they lying on him about that.
Oh, they did that?
Yeah. I don't know who said that. Whether it was Brian or whether it was the guy before him or whoever. Charles Mann probably said it because he wanted to look better than Dexter. I think that's probably what it was.
Yeah. Well, I can't respond to that.
Because
none of it is accurate.
No, but that's what he just said.
I just cleaned it up for you.
Yeah.
He said you was greased up. I don't know what type of term that is or whatever. They said you was greased up in the locker room.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you what he did do in the locker room. Uh-huh. He walked a whole path down in the middle of the locker room because before game time he probably made 30. How many times you walk down from one locker to the other one? I'm doing like this. And Dexter got his earphones on, just walking. Damn, Dexter, we'll be out there in a minute. He ready to play. He ready to go.
Speaking of having his earphones on, I asked this question with the last couple of guests, and in preparation for a game, just curious, what type of music would get you amped up before a game, or was like a go-to song?
Someone like Freddie Jackson. I like soft R&B music.
Wait, I'm so confused about this locker room because everybody that we've interviewed said they prepared for a game with R&B. Is that good? I would think it would be like rock music or like.
The age.
Oh, okay, all right.
I
They didn't have all that rap stuff
Yeah,
going
you're right,
on
right.
back
And
then.
Freddie
That's
Jackson,
what you're dealing with.
Freddie Jackson. I like Freddie Jackson. I would listen to Teddy Pendergrass.
He was thinking about after the game.
Oh yeah, that's it. When you first came to the, it's so hard for me to say this. They say I can't say it, but the team formerly known
Redskins.
as the Redskins. Yeah, it's a tough one because we want to be politically correct, whatever. How was it when you first went in the locker room for your first game, and how pumped up were you to make a name for yourself?
Good question. I made my name for myself when we played the Baltimore Colts in Memorial Stadium, 1981. I ran down plays. I hit the son of a bitch, Burt Jones, and I knocked his ass out. Knocked him out.
You all right?
No, I'm all right. All right, that was very aggressive. You coming from Tampa Bay, and for me, a black kid, African American kid, colorly challenged.
No, at that
however you
time
wanna
in
say it.
Tampa, I was black because every article that was written is either Tampa Bay's black quarterback or Doug Williams, Tampa's black quarterback.
But you were the only one. And everybody, especially in my community, like, and I'll just have to say it that some people became fans of that team just because
I thought it was a uniform.
It was a uniform. It was a nice looking uniform, but it was you too. And everybody would always say, well, because you was always killing it. And everybody was like, yo, if he had this line, if he had that, he would probably win the Super Bowl at the time. How did it feel to go from that team to the Skins at the time? Did you feel that you was going to actually lead that team to getting the Super Bowl?
Well, you know what? The feeling is, it's the old cliche. People always say you feel like you died and went to heaven, right? Mm-hmm. That's how I felt when I got here because of the offensive line, the Hogs.
Right.
You know, you talking about they had a veteran offensive line, had the best offensive line in football in the 80s.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, I looked at it from that standpoint. And now I get a chance to play behind the Hogs
With already with the numbers and everything. you already
and the
know.
receivers I had. You know, what else there to be but a Super Bowl somewhere? Whether I was the quarterback or somebody had to go to the Super Bowl.
And I don't want to make this like a race issue or whatever, but I've seen a lot of Super Bowls or whatever. And what you did in that Super Bowl, it is still crazy to me that when you start talking about the biggest Super Bowl memories, the biggest comebacks, the biggest leads, like 4 touchdowns in 1 quarter, and it pisses me off. It never comes up.
It doesn't, but you know what? And the reason for that, you know, I had a great game. I'm gonna say that, but I had other guys. The defense gave me the football. To say this, the offensive line now was a Doug Williams fan.
Right.
You know, not to take anything away from the other guy, what have you, but they wanted me to play because of what they did and how they played the game. They played the game. They formed a pocket, and they knew what a quarterback was at all times.
Right.
And they used to call me Pocket. And
Oh, yeah.
Joe Bugle, who was the offensive line, used to call me Stud. He used to tell offensive line, he said, hey, guys, he ain't going nowhere because I wasn't running nowhere.
We knew that too. If you would get 3 yards, you'd be like, oh man, take him out the game.
You're right. I ran a bootleg one day
Right.
and it ran the whole quarter out. It took so long to get to there.
But do
no.
you think like quarterbacks like today, like they run too much?
No, I think today's quarterback is a little different from, during my time. You want a mobile quarterback. And I think if you got a guy who can play from the pocket, run only if he has to, that's what you really want. Now, Tom Brady can't run out of sight in, 2 weeks?
Right.
That's how long it's taking to run out of sight.
But
when
he don't.
But when you see him run, he's picking up 8 to 10 yards. He only run when he have to. And the guys that run in this league, none of them has played in the Super Bowl. And you can't say Russell Wilson. That's not true because Russell Wilson is a guy who wants to throw the ball out the pocket.
Right.
He only runs when he has to.
Can I interject?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. One thing about Doug, he's the best pure passer.
All right, why do we have to have this tone? That's all I'm just saying.
Well, cause
Aren't we gentlemen?
What made you?
You got a suit on. You act like you got on a tank top.
You from DC and you telling me you didn't like DC? I think you're lying.
You're lying to me because I never said I didn't like DC.
No, the Cowboys.
I don't like the Cowboys.
Well, anyway, let me finish this here.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy was a pure passer.
100%.
I think he don't get the credit, but him and Warren Moon was great passers. Yeah, throw the ball deep, but you get all these other guys say, oh, they was a pure passer. Now, Dan Marino was a good passer,
right.
But he was the best to me.
You have beef. You have beef with everybody, right?
Hey, I'm from the hood, man.
Okay. What was your beef with Joe Montana? Because we heard this is the only thing this is what I'm hearing.
You heard a lot, didn't you?
Yeah, we heard a lot. It was all about your disrespect.
Well, it's not, because he was one of the good quarterbacks. He can throw the ball, he can scramble. And he was one of the top quarterbacks, so why not go put him on his butt?
Right. But
Yeah.
what was the beef? I understand.
There wasn't no beef. I just kicked his ass.
Okay. That's it. Well, that's the end of that question. Well, no more following up on that.
Yeah.
I asked a question like nowadays, like the young guys, they come into the league, right? They're very flamboyant, right? You could tell how much money, how much they spending.
Hold up.
Yeah.
He could have matched all of them back
That's
in
what
the day.
he was flamboyant?
No. How many leather suits that you had, dude?
Quite a few, about 3, 4.
Let me tell you something.
What color? Please don't tell me you had the one that Eddie Murphy had in Raw.
What color was it?
Red.
He had one.
You had a red suit? You had a red leather suit?
Leather, I'm telling you.
I believe it because he got red socks on there. He reminiscent.
He had blue, he had gold, man. I used to be that old country boy like me from Louisiana, right?
Right.
I'm saying, I said, dang. He dressed down to the max.
Right.
He was the max.
Yeah,
Dexter got on, man. He had his man purse in his hand.
A man purse before it was even, they call it a merce now. It wasn't even that?
He had everything.
So you was a trendsetter back
Yeah,
then.
them boys have been looking at him today. They were watching him come to the locker room. You know how they put the camera on to see what they wearing? They'd have been spotlighting.
And you had a mohawk back then. That was before anybody was doing it. You think you set the trend on people wearing those type of styles?
I'm not sure. You're getting out of character.
No, I'm a comedian. This is all my character. You over here trying to take my position. All I'm trying to do, I'm so happy to be here with you. And I did not know. When they told me that you're disrespectful, I didn't know that it was to everybody. I thought I was just specific to
He really not. Him and I get along well.
Yeah. Did y'all ever guys back then, especially when this team was really winning? Where would okay, you won a big game, you was happy, whatever. Where would you go to celebrate? I know that they had the go-go's, they had triples, they had classics. Where would you go?
I go home and celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go home and celebrate. Or I may go to Duke's Zebras. Are you familiar with Duke's Zebras?
I'm not familiar with
yeah.
it. Strip club?
No. That was a restaurant here in the city.
Restaurant.
What was so exciting about going to that restaurant?
Well, you see a lot of dignitaries there.
Yeah.
And then Dexter Manley walks in there.
But he's a dignitary. What are you talking about?
I'm not going to call him a dignitary just because he
I
got the
will.
suit on. Okay, you do that. That's your friend. I don't think we're going to have a friendship after this. I can just feel the energy. It's not going to. The impression. Dexter Manley walks in there with his dignitary friends. What was the reaction when you walk in there, being over 6'7"? How much you weighed then?
Yeah, about 256.
250. What did they feel when you walked in that building?
Well, you got to understand that those people that was here, government officials, they love the Redskins.
Yeah, that was it.
They love the Redskins.
He walked in, it was Mr. D.
Secretary of Defense.
You just said it.
What do you think is going to be the difference this year moving forward and getting back to where it was you were really, really proud to be a Washington fan?
Well, I think the number one thing I think we've been able to capture that is the locker room. When you say the locker room today, you're talking about characters in the locker room, but you're talking about the players in the locker room. And I think this locker room today is one of the best locker rooms that I've been in. Because when we was in the locker room, we had some characters now, but we had character.
But don't you think that those personalities really make the makeup of the team?
No, that's what I'm saying. When we played, we had some characters.
Oh, okay.
But they had character.
I got you.
If you understand what I'm saying.
I understand why.
They understood what the game was about. They understand that do your job. They didn't worry about nobody else's job. Everybody did their job. And the other part that I like, I don't know where they do it today, in our locker room, after practice, man, nobody went home. They sat around and talked.
Right.
You know, they sat around and talked. You know, and the offensive line, the Hogs had their own little house in the back. They called the 5 o'clock club.
What went? Okay, 5 o'clock club. That's good. Did John Riggins
He was the only guy that was invited with the line.
With the 5 o'clock club?
Yeah.
What made it the 5 o'clock club?
That's what the Hogs called it.
Yeah.
Whatever they wanted to call it, it was all right with me and everybody else.
Because they drank too much.
They drank too much?
They drank on Mondays.
So it's okay, Tuesday and Wednesday's okay for you, but
I ain't
Mondays
gonna
was
say drank
off.
too much. They drank a lot.
Before practice, during the games?
No, it was 5 o'clock was after.
After everything?
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, it's something to be said. Okay, they drank a lot, but then they was winning games also. So do you think
Well, Joe Gibbs didn't have a problem with it.
with them drinking at 5?
Yeah, drinking at 5.
Well, nobody went to the. You can't say they was drinking, but they was drinking. Let me say that.
Right.
Because nobody went in the club.
Oh, you said they was participating in some functions that we had no knowledge of.
Oh no! I think it's strictly drinking.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because we had the guys who kept up the field was the guy that went to the store to bring their beer back and everything.
I read some excerpts from your book where you said in 1985 when Theismann had that injury, it was self-reflective of your life, and something came over you. You felt like you either, I don't know if it was either had to change your life or it's something had to change, or you felt a change in yourself. What was the change you felt in yourself in that moment?
Well, at that moment is that I reflected on how I had this secret. I was Boy George. Boy George, you wear a lot of makeup, you disguise. And I was standing on the sideline, and when I saw that guy go down, I'm thinking, what if that happened to me? Yeah, I'm functionally illiterate, I can't read or write. What am I going to do if that happened to me? So it brought a certain amount of trepidation, and I decided I need to do something about it. I went to the Washington Lab School. I was 26 years old, and then I could read the Washington Post. I could never read the Washington Post when I was here.
Okay. All right, go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So in about 6 months, I could start reading the Washington Post because I went to go do something about my problem.
He did use the word trepidation.
I know, I was getting ready to say, I was like, oh, you learned, you just showing off right now. That's my 4 or 5 syllables right there. I was like, oh, you done took me away from it now.
Yeah. So that impacted my life.
What are you up to? What's going on in your life these days?
Well, I started a foundation, Lydia and myself, a literacy
Your wife?
foundation. Yeah, that shit's over there.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, I saw you over there. You trying to hit.
Ain't nobody trying to hit on your wife.
Yeah, see, that's DC.
It didn't work. It worked better for you. He didn't even blink for that.
I guess he know better.
Okay, after you win the Super Bowl, what is the celebration? What is the party? Because it seems like that locker room was kind of like chill, like everybody was praying and going to church. Nobody turned up or did anything crazy after the Super Bowl win.
Well, you have responsibility. Now, I'm going to let Doug answer that because that was the biggest Super Bowl we had.
Yeah, but
Did you ever go to Disneyland? Anybody ever go?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I had a 5-year-old daughter. Took her and 9 nieces.
Oh yeah.
Went to Disney World, and the day in the park, everybody was stopping me, and they told me to stay in the room because they couldn't enjoy Disney World because I was stopping too much.
Yeah.
But I had a ball, But after the Super Bowl, now I didn't go anywhere because my knee was
swollen.
Yeah, I stayed
You
in
went
the
from
room.
you went from Super Bowl. I think 2 years after that you went. Was it 2 years after that you weren't
Yeah.
on the team anymore?
Mm-hmm.
For a real for a real fan, we was hurt by that and almost lost some loyalty with the franchise. You know what I'm saying? Like we felt like it was a raw deal, and it was screwed up, and we was like, man, Doug's supposed to retire here. He's supposed to have opportunity to play again. So how do you go from that situation, winning the Super Bowl, not on the team anymore, now being a part of the organization again?
It was a very disappointing time. When I walked in Coach Gibbs' office, I can take the exact word he told me. He said, "Sit down." He said, "We're gonna let you go." I said, "Oh, okay."
He didn't do like human resources and ask you how your day was going. You know human resources, you know you're about to go when it's one person looking at you, another person looking out the window. Like, they wait, return.
Coach Gibbs looked me in my face. He said, "I'm gonna let you go." But today, man, Coach Gibbs to me is a guy that gave me an opportunity to come to this city, come to this team, and to do what I was able to do.
Do you think like a lot of athletes now, like squander opportunities or don't respect the opportunity? Because it is a privilege to be in the league. Do you think they squander opportunities and don't care as much?
I do, and it's hard. The amount of money that they pay these guys today, and the guys that screw up, the money that they make and the mistakes that so many of them make,
And the
crazy.
chances they get over and over
You know,
again.
they think they're gonna do this for a lifetime. It ain't going to be that way.
What type of card back then? What type of card? With Charles Manley, I don't know how he fitted it, but he said like that was one of his big. He was so excited about. He had a 280Z back in those days. What was you driving then?
I don't know if I was driving. I didn't have driving license.
No. So you was getting chauffeured around everywhere.
Well, I was still driving, but I didn't have driving license.
You was as they say riding dirty.
I don't know about dirty, but
He wasn't a law-abiding citizen.
No,
right
no,
there.
no.
I had a old beat up Mercedes Benz. Hold on, that I got when I got drafted. That I thought it was my car, but it was the guy's car.
Who?
My agent, whatever you want to call him.
Right.
They pulled me
Bloodsucker, whatever you want.
they pulled me over in Fairfax, Virginia, and they asked me for my registration. I give them the driver's license, but I couldn't give them the registration because the tag was changed on the back of the car. I was supposed to change. How am I gonna change the tag? I don't have the registration.
I feel like I want to arrest you right now for even telling that story. That sounds like a typical story when you get pulled up, license. Oh, I left that in the car, but those tags, I would have been like, man, if you don't get the back of this goddamn car. Everybody knows Joe, especially in outside, you know Joe Gibbs as a real laid-back person, whatever. And I asked this question last interview. Was there ever a moment where you felt like Joe Gibbs was that close to cursing everybody out in the locker room?
Philadelphia.
Yep.
Philadelphia. We ended up beating Philadelphia 10-2. The first half, nobody was playing worth a damn. Let me say it like that. And Joe Gibbs is cool as a cucumber. He don't get upset on the sideline. At halftime, you know, he took that little stroll across
Right,
the field.
that's a good impression,
He took
too.
that little stroll across the field with his clipboard in his hand.
Yeah.
And he opened that locker room, and everybody in there reaching for Gatorade, orange hat, you know, the oranges and stuff. Man, Joe Gibbs kicked that stuff over everybody's
The whole
feet.
thing?
He cleaned the table.
That's the first time I seen just solid.
And it worked.
And he still encouraged though.
Yeah,
But he had lieutenants. Excuse me, though. He had lieutenants to do that. People like Don Bro, Wayne Seville, Joe Bugle. Those guys gonna come in your face and tell you what's going on. But Joe Gibbs didn't have to do that.
In the locker room, and I see that you
You keep talking about the locker room.
What you think this show is about?
I thought it was about life, playing on the field.
No, they tricked you.
Pardon me?
No, they tricked you. It's not about life. It was about the locker room. But if
Oh,
you want to
really?
talk about, but if you want to talk about,
I don't want to talk about.
no,
the
let's talk
locker
about
room.
life then. What is the biggest accomplishment you think you've had to contribute to the world?
That I'm not functionally literate anymore. That I can read the Washington Post.
And we got a Washington Post anywhere? They don't even make that paper anymore. No, I'm just.
It's online.
That's it.
Yeah, that's my biggest accomplishment.
Who the funny person? I'm stand-up comic. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I
So,
didn't.
okay.
Are you like? Can you compete with Dave Chappelle?
You know, I've done shows where he's told me personally, Donnell, you make it. I'll always know the difference when I'm working with you because you make me step my game up.
Yeah.
So I don't compete with him. He's my brother, and right now he is the GOAT. As some would consider to be the GOAT of all time.
Where did he get the goat from?
Originally, it came from.
Who started the
People
goat?
want to say LL Cool J, because LL Cool J had an album called The GOAT. He used the acronym GOAT, the greatest of all time, and then it became popular with everything. Which brings me to my question. You asked me a question about Dave. Dex, who or what pushed you to go above what your expectations probably for yourself? Or
Good questions. See, I grew up in the hood. Okay. One day I was sitting on the corner step with. I'm in middle school, and me and my brother and some other guys, and here come the police, picking up my big brother. So that kind of motivated me because I looked up to him. But when that happened, I said, I don't want to be like him. Got back in the police car. And to be quite frank with you, living in Houston, I was a Cowboy fan, and I like football.
You made the man walk up.
Did y'all hear what he just said? Am I on the right show? Am I on the right show? I'm just saying, did y'all hear what I just did?
Yeah, but I was.
You're the greatest actor I've interviewed in my life.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Listen to me!
Okay, you scared me, man.
You talked all that stuff about being a Cowboy fan, and you wait till the end of the show to tell me that you grew up as a Cowboy fan.
I'm from Houston, Texas. I was born a Texan. Yeah, I like the Cowboys over the
Stop
Houston Oilers.
saying you like the Cowboys! Okay. All right, finish your story. And this is about to be the last thing we say because this show's about to be over. Finish the story. Finish the story about how you were a Cowboy fan. Go.
Well, I like the Cowboys, so that really got me motivated. You don't have to hide behind that.
I'm hiding behind it. I don't trust anything. Go.
Okay, let me get my sweat towel.
All right.
Whew, you making me sweat now.
Go.
Yeah. So football was in my blood because my daddy loved the Dallas Cowboys.
Man, this interview over, man. Donnell Rawlings, Chalk Talk, Doug, thank you. I don't know what to say to you, but that was fun. And you're full of shit.
Okay, let's go.